rather than lecture. I think most of you will know that she's a preeminent expert in the world of dance notation. What you may not know is that she came to England at age 17 from America to train with the Kurt Yost Company at Dartington Hall on a 3-year Laban-based modern dance course. She clearly showed a remarkable talent for notation because she was asked to stay on for another year to record Yost's famous ballet, The Green Table. But she tells me she wanted to dance. So we're back to America. We follow her back to New York, where she danced professionally for 8 years. She co-founded the Dance Notation Bureau in New York and notated works by Balanchine, Humphrey, Anthony Tudor, and Jerome Robbins. Pretty spectacular for a youngster. Since then, her career has been distinguished by her work on many novel notation publications and texts, the revival of ballets from old scores, and the founding of the Language of Dance Centre here in the UK, and the co-founding of the Language of Dance Centre in the USA in 1997. She's been awarded 2 honorary doctorates from Detroit University and the Ohio State University. And in 1997, she received the Outstanding Contribution to Dance Research Award from the Congress on Research in Dance. She tells me that her most recent activities have included an invitation by the Bolshoi Ballet to visit Moscow to discuss their production of Esmeralda. I don't know if any of you saw the BBC programme on Nureyev, where there were clips of him dancing in Esmeralda, and that actually really piqued my interest in the piece. But she's also visited Japan to discuss the translation of her book into Japanese, Your Move. We're very honoured to have you here today, Anne, and we're looking forward to enter the world of Nijinsky and to hear about your revival of Après-midi d'un Faune for the Royal Ballet. Welcome.
Thank you, Anne. Well, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here and to have been asked to give the lecture today on one of my favorite subjects, Nijinsky's Faune. As Anna explained, by chance, although you didn't mention the chance, I will though, because I think it's a fascinating detail. When I told my parents I wanted to dance, they would have sent me to London to a ballet school. But a friend of theirs said, there's this wonderful dance school, Dartington Hall, beautiful manor house, outdoor theatre, and they thought, that sounds much nicer. And so I went to Dartington Hall, to the Yost School, and had what they called a script twice a week for the 3-year course. I enjoyed it. I found it easy, and as you know, when I finished the course, Yost asked me to stay on. I notated Green Table and 3 other of his works. And I'm very happy to know that of Kurt Joseph's books, the only ones that are now available are the ones I notated. So you see how important it is. I'm going to jump now to London in 1955. I had come over, and people, particularly students at the Sigurd Lager School, were very interested in notation. And Harry Haythorne, Jane Minnows, and various others got together and formed not a Laban notation society, but the British Dance and Movement Notation Society, and invited Margaret Morris, the Benishes, anyone else to take part. And indeed, one of the things they did was to offer lectures on the different systems. Noah Eshkol gave a lecture on her system, Margaret Morris, and so on. For the Nijinsky system, Madame Legat came and offered to speak about his notation system. And she explained about how he showed the different parts of the body, how he showed direction. She explained all these elements. And then somebody in the audience said, "Can you show us how he wrote walking?" And she looked completely puzzled. And maybe a simple photograph. She had never used the system. And she was so embarrassed. She said, "Is there anyone who perhaps could help me to sort out these notes?" So I met with her regularly. She had notes which were not connected with Nijinsky's score of form. Now, to explain about how Nijinsky was able to write down the whole of that first ballet, you have to know that it had premiered in 1912. The company went to South America, and he married Romola Polsky. Diaghilev was furious, kicked him out of the company, and he found himself at the beginning of the war in Budapest with his in-laws, nothing to do. But Nijinsky had always been interested in the notation. At the Imperial School in St. Petersburg, they were taught the Stepanov system. It is based on an anatomical movement analysis and uses music notes. Nijinsky followed that basic idea, but in time he developed it further and improved on it, and to the point where no one could read the score. Now, while he was in Budapest, actually under house arrest, he spent his time working on the notation and writing the score of form. When he died in 1950, Romola left the score at the British Library. And there it sat for years and years because nobody could use it. People wanted to. But then Romola heard of my involvement with notation and said, "Oh, please, won't you work on the notation so we can produce the ballet from the score. And she gave me this set of notes, the same that Madame Legat had, which were wrong. They were his notes of a later period when he was trying new ideas. And, however, Romola did allow me to have a copy of Hutchinson's score. Here I was trying to match things up, trying to find further information, for instance, from Marie Rambert, who had been there, and I hoped that if she could tell me what happened in the beginning, what happened next, I would be able to piece it together. But I'm laughing because somebody said afterwards, when she sees it, she knows if it's wrong or right, but she can't remember the details. But I read a little excerpt from where the nymphs come in. And so I say, well, they come in like this. And she said, "You have no feeling." Well, I was like a pianist who's trying to figure out the chords on the piano. You're not playing, performing. So I'm afraid Rambert is